Not sound, but print from Mark Murphy, the Packers CEO, Christopher, the closest thing that the organization has to an owner because it's a corporation. Once every month or thereabouts, Mark Murphy does a Q&A column on the Packers official website. And the latest one dropped over the weekend. Now, this is fascinating to me. I'm going to read the question. And then
no, please do.
The relevant part of the answer.
Yeah.
This is a question from a guy named Ken. Dear Mark, you have done a great job. Don't let the bastards drag you down. Washington needs a name. I suggest the Generals. Now, there's nothing in the question that would in any way remotely point to the ongoing impasse with Aaron Rodgers, unless, of course, Murphy believes that one of the bastards dragging him down is Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Apply him to a lie detector test, and he probably would say yes. So what Murphy says, and by the way, the Washington comments in there because Murphy played for the franchise back in the day, many, many days ago. Thanks, Ken, said Murphy. The situation we face with Aaron Rodgers has divided our fan base. The emails and letters I've received reflect this fact. As I wrote here last month, we remain committed to resolving things with Aaron and want him to be our quarterback in 2021 and beyond. We're working to resolve the situation and realize that the less both sides say publicly, the better. Okay, the less they say publicly, the better. I agree. Why in the hell?
Says the guy publicly.
Why in the hell are you saying this publicly when the question that you're responding to doesn't even ask about Aaron Rodgers? Are you kidding me?
I don't get it either. It's like they went in with a preconceived notion of what they wanted to get out there. That's really what it is, And
just make up an Aaron Rodgers question though. This question comes from Paul.
Seriously, that's
Paul
where I don't get it.
What's up with Aaron Rodgers? I mean, who's going to know that they made up the question?
Yeah, exactly right.
The whole thing. This, to me, feels like the middle finger back to Aaron Rodgers for all of the pictures and videos of him in Hawaii for the first week of OTAs. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I get it. Or at least another, just shot or notice of, hey, look what you're doing to the fans here. And, you're causing a problem with our fan base and those things. Almost playing to a little bit of the insecurities that you talk about a lot of the times with Rodgers, that he's almost like, hey, look, you divided us. Maybe he'll feel the pressure of this comment. Yep. I thought of that because I thought that's what you would think of when I read this yesterday. That's really what I thought. Not that I would have naturally come to that, but since I've worked with you so long, I actually thought of that because I was like, you know what, Mike, this might be part of that whole your read on this situation, which has been damn good so far.
It's been 2 weeks since Rodgers was on ESPN for Kenny Mayne's Final Sports Center and said, I love my teammates, I love my coaches, I love the fans, and it's an issue with the people. Remember that? The whole people person's paper people stuff. We had the little jingle from The Office. It was great. But this was all part of an effort for him to avoid alienating the fan base. The way that Murphy is setting it up, and I take issue with that based upon my own experience and what I hear from people early on. Once the Aaron Rodgers stuff hit the fan, I was starting to sense that some fans were concerned. But since then, I haven't gotten the sense that the fans are aligning against him. I think they're taking a wait-and-see position. In their mind, it doesn't matter until he doesn't show up.
Right.
For now, it's just talk. They came to the conclusion that Rodgers would have wanted them to come to, which it's all overblown. It's all a media creation. Don't believe any of it for now. And what Rodgers maybe didn't bank on is Murphy being the one to come out and say there is polarization. There is red state, blue state going on. Rodgers doesn't want red state, blue state. He doesn't want that. He wants everybody behind him. And I think that's one of the reasons Murphy said what he said. There's no way that this thing was just kind of accidentally put out there by Mark Murphy. This was the product of careful thought, deliberation, agonizing over every word. We got to get it just right, and let's see how the people react to it, and then let's see how Aaron reacts to it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way you do, as in there's the Aaron Rodgers haters that think, he's being a baby or blah, 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 but they're not Packers fans. I feel like the Packers fan base, for the most part, understands the situation, at least from my take on things, whether it's social media or just watching the news or they're reading local stuff there, to where, yes, I don't think there's going to be any real blame until, someone makes some crazy decision here or something is, the crap hits the fan, for lack of a better phrase. But, like, the situation is what it is because of Mark Murphy and the Green Bay Packers. Now, and again, that's where I go back to this, divided the fan base, sure, whatever phrase you want to do, I don't know. But again, these are things where I want to go, what did you expect to happen? What did you think was going to happen with your fan base and a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who was still playing really good football and all those things? And that's where it's a weird situation altogether. And I think really in the end game, I don't know, the more this goes on, I just feel like Green Bay is going to look worse than Aaron Rodgers.
Do you think that Mark Murphy doesn't want Rodgers to show up?
I think there might be a little bit of a, like, yes and no. I feel like I feel like from the PR standpoint and him not showing up, it could be one more time where they can kind of point a finger and see like, hey, see, he's a pain in the butt. See, we told you he's not easy and all that. But I got to think there's also another aspect of them to go, wait, if he doesn't show up and he doesn't play and we do go 8-9 or something like that, whoa, is our butts going to be hot? I mean, people are going to want us for dead. The fact that we had a Super Bowl team and the MVP of football and he didn't show up and now the team fell apart and, oh, man, the guy that we traded up in the first round to get, he just looked okay and not great. That's got to be in the back of their mind too, to where they got to be at that moment going, well, I hope he shows up because I'm just not sure I'm ready for the reality of Jordan Love and this football team quite yet. So
Murphy separately was asked about Jordan Love. Let me tell you what Murphy had to say about Jordan Love in the same column. It was a shame for Jordan that the pandemic impacted so much of his rookie year. Although it wasn't a completely wasted year, we had no in-person practices in the offseason program and no preseason game experience. It's hard to tell a lot in the offseason practices. Both Matt LaFleur and offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett have said they like what they've seen from Jordan this offseason. Hackett said the biggest difference this year is his confidence in the system and that his decision-making, timing, and accuracy have all improved. It's obviously helped him to get reps with the first-team offense this offseason. Twist the knife, twist the knife. The preseason games this year will be crucial in his development. What also will be crucial is whether he's the starter or the backup in those preseason games. Look, I look at it this way, Chris. They made the decision to trade up to get Jordan Love. And I get it. They wanted Justin Jefferson. He was gone. They wanted Brandon Ayuk. They got leapfrogged by the 49ers. So they move up and get Jordan Love. They moved up to get Jordan Love. They saw something in Jordan Love. They believe in Jordan Love. And I think they'd very much like to prove to the world that they got it right with Jordan Love.
Yeah.
So
But he's telling you it's not ready yet because of those excuses he made with that and all of that. Not excuses, but they're real.
And if we go 8-9 this year, this is why. This is why.
It does set it up that way. You're right.
And we're well positioned for 2022. I mean, look at it this way. If Aaron Rodgers is going to be gone after this season, and I think he will be, I think that they're going to trade him in March.
Right.
Would you rather have Jordan Love thrust into the starting role for the first time next year, or would you rather have him get the benefit of being the starter this year because all the reps he gets this year, getting the game to slow down this year, they're going to be better next year? And there was always going to be a transition from Rodgers to Love.
You're right.
And maybe you just say, we'll take the $35 million, we'll reapply that elsewhere in the organization, reinvest it. Again, no owner, so no one's sucking away profit. You can take that money and reinvest it. And we don't have to worry about Aaron Rodgers winning a Super Bowl with the Broncos or the Raiders or someone else. And he'll look like the jerk because he sat out. I really do think that if Mark Murphy were to tell us the honest-to-God truth right now, he would say, I'd rather Rodgers not show, we get $35 million, Jordan Love gets a year to develop, and we trade Aaron Rodgers next March, which we're going to do whether he shows up or not anyway.
I don't disagree with anything you said, except there's just one aspect that to me affects all of those things. and that is where exactly is Jordan Love in his development. And I think that's why it's part of that quote. I think they're clueless. He was raw to begin with, and then they don't really know where he's at. So that's scary. And I think, like what you're talking about is good to a certain degree, but if it ends up,
but they got to find out someday.
I know
they got to find out someday where
but
he is.
They don't want to do it at 4 and be 4-13, and him look really bad and everything like that. That's where they got to be careful with this type of situation. And I'm sure that's where he's making the comments about the pandemic, and we didn't get to do that. I think in the perfect world, you're right. He'd love to be like, man, he played last preseason. He got the reps last year. Screw you, Aaron Rodgers. We're going with this guy. Go the hell, sit out of football. I don't disagree with you in that thought there, but I think it's about where Jordan Love is in his progress. And I think that's probably where I think Aaron Rodgers is also knows he has power here. I think he knows Jordan Love ain't ready, and they're not going to have the guts to go to him right now, and that he is still the man here in this situation. So I think that's where it's tough for Green Bay to play that card. I think just me looking from the outside on the outside looking in, for a guy like he is, I do think he's raw. Yes, he didn't have the experience of last year and all those type of things. I think if I'm in Green Bay and I'm just the coach, right? I'm the coach and I want the perfect world. I'm going, ooh, I'd like him to have one more year of, he can really be the backup quarterback and get reps during the season. I mean, the fact that he was not even dressed for the football games last year, I don't know if everybody, what's that? What'd you call that thing? A megahorn? That's a megahorn, okay? It's going, our first-round quarterback, we don't trust him. We don't trust him to be the backup or the third stringer. Like, so that tells you how raw he is. That's really rare, right, Mike? I mean, again, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. First-round picks who don't even dress a whole year in 2020, like, you don't hear that story anymore. So that's, to me, where I think they got to be a little careful.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.